The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Danny Brewer here. Welcome to the Cougar Corner. We are just extremely pleased right now. We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School girls basketball coach Hannah Jones. Coach Jones, how are you this morning?
Doing great. We finished up a game last night, and then we're going to turn around and travel to Nashville Christian today. So kind of back-to-back days getting ready for.
You know, this is a fantastic time of year, the holiday season. And one of the things the holiday season brings for people like you is lots of games, and you play different people and all that kind of stuff. So exciting for you this time of year for many, many reasons?
Oh, yeah. We got lots of stuff going on. Girls get kind of tired of just practicing each other. That's what we work towards, is being able to play games and preparing for district.
Right. And when we think about some of the things that's happened in the past, this is your third year at Middle Tennessee Christian. Am I correct?
Going into my fourth.
Going into your fourth year. Okay, so fourth season as a leader of the Lady Cougars. You've had some pretty good teams, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, Coach.
Yeah, first 2 years we made it to the state championship, and that was really, really fun. Last year we got put out in region, and then now we're just getting started this year. So it's been a fun past 3 years. Excited for year 4.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the challenges of coaching at a school like Middle Tennessee Christian. Because smaller environment, which can be good, but also your roster can be a little bit limited, and you got girls, I'm sure, that play multiple sports because in a smaller school, that's what happens, right?
You have to. That's just everybody pitches in. They do a lot of different things. And that's just that's what you do in life, right? You're going to be involved in a lot of different areas of life, even after high school, after college, whatever you do. So I think even though MTCS is small in number-wise on paper, I think that's just it's just a glimpse into where they're going to be headed. You're going to be active in a lot of different things. So, yeah, we have a lot of multi-sport athletes for sure.
Now, in kind of older times, I'm an old guy. When I was in school, people played multiple sports. That's what you did. If you were a good athlete, you played everything. Now it's not necessarily so true, especially at the bigger schools. Do you think that's maybe not such a good thing? I mean, do you like it that you have players who play multiple sports?
I love that we have players that play multiple sports, especially for our female student athletes. I think it's healthier for them to play multiple sports. Now, the only area of concern I have, I grew up playing travel soccer, travel basketball, and it was necessary. I wanted to play at the next level, and I was fortunate enough to play in college and play professionally. And I think that those travel teams are necessary. I do wish that, I feel like school teams, they're just as important, as I want to say, as travel. And I think that just these kids do have a lot going on, but they also need to be kids at the same time. So just finding that fine line and that balance of staying healthy, I think playing multiple sports is wonderful. I encourage every single one of my student athletes to do that. But I also think that there should be, a lot of just wisdom and perspective on their health and their bodies, and making sure that they're getting what they need, but they're also having time to enjoy their lives and grow up, which is what this phase of life is. They're just growing up and they're learning for the next, wherever they go next after high school.
I had a debate with somebody just the other day about this as far as, travel sports versus school sports. And I 100% agree with you that school sports are extremely important, because then you're playing with your classmates and your friends and the kids you grew up with. And I think that's very important.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think from a social maturity, emotional intelligence, I think it's and just like a daily routine of getting into a daily routine and working through things, where I think in travel you get to kind of be placed on teams where there's a lot of skill sets there, because it's very specific to that sport. You're in high school and you don't know, they're not all there for just basketball. Some are there for soccer, some are there for volleyball, some are there for whatever teams that they're choosing to play for sports-wise. They could be in something else too. So it's just different, and I think that's a different learning curve. And it's just as important to be like, hey, this is the team that I'm on, and like the value that each and every unique player brings, and where they're coming from and how they're choosing to play a part of the sport and to have school spirit, to buy in, I think it's a really, really awesome life lesson that a lot of kids need to be a part of and learn.
You just used a term that I love, life lesson, because at the end of the day, that's what sports is, right? It's teaching
absolutely.
us. It's a training ground for life.
Oh, yeah. If I hadn't have played high school, college, professionally, at every level that I played at, and every team that I was a part of was completely different. You learn how to make decisions. You learn just how to be flexible and get out of like critical thinking and how to handle adversity, because you're always going to. It's just, I think Carol Lawson at Duke had a quote that was just like, life doesn't get easier. You just learn how to handle hard better, something like that. And I think that's so true. And I love that in the long term. If all of I'm just biased because I coach young girls and female student athletes. I think it's just so important that they learn how to handle the hard, and they're going to enjoy and embrace that. And they're just going to be just really amazing women, and I think that sports help set them up to do that, to be great leaders, to be great workers, to be great family members, to be great human beings, and so I think it's very, very important.
Coach, I couldn't agree with you more, and I love that you learn to handle hard better, because that's the game called life.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the Lady Cougars. I'm going to throw a couple of names out there, and you just kind of tell me a little bit about what they've done and your thoughts on them. First, Anna Clay Shirley. I know she's had a couple of good games here recently. Yeah,
she is definitely come along. So I was able to pull her up as an 8th grader my first year. So I've been with her for a while now, and I've loved the progression of her game. I think especially past few games, I have asked her to step up in practice defensively and trying to figure out, like, when you go through scouting reports, defensive matchups, and yada, yada, like, she has really stepped up her defensive game. Everybody knows her as a shooter, obviously. She can shoot. She has range. But y'all don't understand, and I want people to see more of her defensively. She is dynamic, and she is wanting to get it done. So I've been very, very proud of her stepping up into a kind of our go-to defensive role. I was I'm loving watching it.
I know that she can score. Do you think that oftentimes playing good defense helps you offensively?
Yes, that's what I preach to our kids. Defense creates offense. Our defensive rebounds start our transition. I mean, that's the beginning of everything.
Okay, so next girl we want to talk about is Ambria Haynes. Did I say that right?
Ambria Haynes, yeah, we call her Bree. Ambria Haynes, yep. She came to us from Riverdale, and she's been a post for us, a more true back to basket, but she brings a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and enthusiasm and joy that I think this team is just a piece of the puzzle that we absolutely love. And she just brings a different depth to us. So she's been amazing too. She's a junior as well.
When you talk about back to the basket, I think that oftentimes in today's game, post play there's not as much of an emphasis on post play as it used to be. Talk about the importance of teaching those back to the basket moves and the ability to play with your back to the basket.
Yeah, well, I came from, when I was playing, I was definitely like a forward kind of a tweener. So I see the value of like a 5-out, being able for like posts and guards to kind of blend. I see that. But you do have also, like, there is a physicality and just a grittier mindset to be down in the paint, back to basket. You got someone on you. You see one-on-one, you got 2 feet in the paint. You know what? This is your time to use your angles, use your leverage to get up and finish. I just think it's a different way to score. It's a different way to add physicality and to add like an inside outlook. I think it opens up a lot. So the value of being able to anchor in the paint is just as important. It's just different. Well, I mean, I guess it's not different, but I think the trend is being more tweeners and fluid 3-4s. You know what I'm saying? And
yes.
I think that the post game used to be very traditional, and then it kind of got away. And I think that it's just a lot of people don't learn as much of how to even guard the post too. So I think it's kind of can be a threat as well. So we're really excited to have Bree.
Now I'm an old guy, like I said already, so I'm going to bring back a name. When you mentioned something there, the angles and everything like that of understanding with your back to the basket. Adrian Dantley. There was a guy that played years ago named Adrian Dantley. He was like 6'5", but he was a fantastic post player because he had a little bit thicker body, but he understood how to keep guys on his hip and keep his body between them and the ball. Is that something that you're trying to teach as far as, like you mentioned the angles? How important is that?
Well, it's just going to give you the leverage that you need of where, like, if you're catching in the post, where you catch, how you're catching. You only have so much space to work with down by the rim. So when you've got it, you can catch, chin, check, and then where's the defense? Where can I pivot, move, look in regards to my defender? And I mean, there's just, it's a lot of, it sounds like a lot of moving pieces, and it kind of is. But once you get that muscle memory, then you understand, like, oh, I see this pressure on this shoulder, I can go this way. You know what I'm saying? So I think the angles are important. I don't know if the girls, we're not pulling out like trig or calculus or something out there to document angles, but they do a good job repping in practice, and just trying to get it to translate into that game speed is important.
Yeah, well, the trig and the calculus, that can stay on the shelf for me too. But anyway,
I don't know it.
So let's next girl I want to talk about, Katie Cathy. Tell me a little bit about Katie Cathy. I know she's had a double-figure game here recently too.
Yeah, she is, I would say, kind of a very, very important glue piece for us. She does so many things, and she's so smart. She's vocal. She is leading us in charges, so I think that just tells you, like, she's selfless and she's willing to sacrifice for a team, but she's there in the help side. Offensively, I think she reads things very, very well, and I think she makes very, very good reads, and just kind of, she's a newbie as well, so I think that she's been wonderful, and she's just got a great voice out on the court. Like, she is a talker, and I think that she has a high IQ that I'm excited for her to continue to shine.
Basketball IQ, something important, because students of the game is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me how you cultivate that, because you got to have a hunger for the knowledge and all that stuff. So when you see somebody like that, how do you cultivate that and try to get them to continue to learn and grow and be a sponge and absorb all this stuff?
Oh, well, I don't know if I do a fantastic job of it, or if anyone does. And if anyone does, like, just let me read your book and we'll figure it out together. But I think our girls, like, they're buying into, they want to play. They've chosen to play basketball. So obviously with that, they already have a competitive heart. They have a growth mindset, even if they don't know what that is. I think so that just right there is a great boundary, or a great baseline to jump off of, and getting them to, like, obviously repping it in practice, but getting them to know the whys. We watch a lot of film. We have team notebooks that we're writing notes down in film, and just understanding, what are we looking for here? How do you read a defense? Breaking it down, doing it on the court, talking about it. I mean, there's a lot, I think, of just getting multiple touches on it, so it's always in front of them, and just repping it as well. But I think that they do a good job themselves of just showing up and putting in the work and paying attention. They have executed our scouts very, very well, and I've been very proud of that. I don't think a lot. I don't know if a lot of high school teams have kids who are as bought into, okay, this girl does this first move, and we want to take away this, and this is how we are going to score, and why we do it. So I think our girls are they're just good listeners, and I think that they're paying attention because they want to, and that's very, very precious to me, and I'm very thankful for that.
Understanding the importance of practice and hard work and all that stuff, you feel like your team's got a good grasp on that? I
do. I think that at the end of the day, high school kids are teenagers, and they're learning through it, and there's always going to be something, like, challenges that they're going to be going through, and we have to love them, number one. But I do think that they handle it very, very well, and I think that they're going to be they're just great kids. I'm so proud of them.
So, Coach, you mentioned that you played last night. You got a game tonight. After today, talk about what you got coming up in the short term between now and the holidays, as far as schedule-wise and stuff.
Well, the girls have exams next week, so that will be a mental test for them, and they're going to study. We're going to practice in between, and we don't have a game until next Friday, Saturday. So once they get through exams, we are going to play Nolensville, which will be very tough. And then I think Saturday is Franklin Christian Academy, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could be, I have to go back and look. It could be just the boys next weekend. But I think we're Nolensville, and then maybe Franklin Christian Academy, who is, I think, supposed to join our district in the future.
So after that, I mean, do you guys take some time off for the holidays, or are you involved in Christmas tournaments? What do you got going up as far as that is concerned?
We will be off from, obviously, after I think the 22nd through the 25th, and then potential practice the 26th, and then we play at Richland High School for their kind of Christmas time games they've got going on. I think we're set up to play Cornersville and Santa Fe, so I think it'll be a good time to get some extra games in, and then we'll lead into kind of January where we'll come back right into district.
So exciting times for Middle Tennessee Christian School, for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's always fun.
So let's talk. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about cooking. You and I usually always talk about cooking. What's on the holiday menu? People want to know what Hannah Jones has got cooking on her holiday menu.
Oh, gosh. Are we doing literal again or team
Well, yeah,
stuff?
this time we're doing literal, cause you got the prime rib you got going on, or are we frying a turkey, or kind of what we got going on there, Hannah Jones?
Well, if you have any recommendations, we have our in-laws coming in, so we're kind of hosting with my in-laws, and then my family is up in Pennsylvania, actually, and my sister just had her first baby, so that's my first nephew. I won't be able to get to travel up there to see him, but we'll probably cook at the house. Probably do we always do a Christmas Day brunch type thing. So a lot of casseroles that are fun, cinnamon rolls, that kind of thing. And then hopefully find somewhere a nice dinner out or something like that. We're not really sure yet. We haven't planned it well enough yet.
All right.
If you've got any recs, let me know.
Okay. So yes. All right. So here you go for your brunch. You could do chicken and waffles. How about that? A little chicken and waffles. Yep. And if you like a little spice, you throw your little Frank's hot sauce on the chicken when it comes out of the grease. So if for those who want it spicy,
have you had hot honey?
Yeah, you could do some hot honey, absolutely.
I like hot honey.
And so you do put a little hot honey on those fried chicken tenders when you put them on the. Now, me personally, I like the boneless chicken on the chicken and waffles. Some people like the bone-in chicken. I prefer the boneless chicken on the chicken and waffles. And then how about this? How about some everything pigs in a blanket? Like the everything bagel. You like the everything bagel?
Oh yeah.
So you can get the everything seasoning. And you just take your croissants and you cut them up and you wrap your little smokies in there and put some everything seasoning on them, bake them in the oven. Bam!
Okay.
Everything pigs in a blanket. How about that?
Hot tips. This radio show is now going to turn into your recipe cookbook.
Coach, listen, we certainly appreciate your time. That's Hannah Jones. She's got the Lady Cougars roaring over there at Middle Tennessee Christian School. We appreciate your time, Coach. We wish you happy holidays.
Thank you. You too.
All right, take care, Coach.
Yep. Bye.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Welcome back to MTCS Cougar Corner. Let's take a look at the Cougar Corner scoreboard here on the show, powered by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Let's go to Monday. We'll go back that far. And here are the scores that we have for you. In middle school JV girls, 26, Mount Juliet Christian Academy 19, and the middle school boys were 50-12 winners over MJCA. And let's see, the middle school varsity girls, 43-7 victors, and the boys defeat Mount Juliet Christian varsity middle school boys 64-20. 5th and 6th grade girls on Tuesday fall to Nashville Christian School 23-15. The JV boys were winners 49-46 over Webb, a close one on Tuesday. It was the 5th and 6th grade JV boys 24, Nashville Christian School 22, Webb 51, and the MTCS girls varsity 39 on Tuesday. 5th and 6th grade boys 22-16 over Nashville Christian School on Tuesday as well. It was Bell Buckle, Webb School defeating MTCS boys in high school varsity 80-59. And that takes us to Thursday, where the middle school JV boys defeated Mount Juliet Christian Academy 35-14. And it was the middle school varsity girls, a 36-3 winner over Mount Juliet Christian. The boys middle school varsity 59-19 over Mount Juliet Christian Academy. Varsity girls last night defeating University School of Nashville 68-25, but it was University School of Nashville boys winning 75-63. So that is a look at the scoreboard from this past week. Today, you've got swimming at Stewart's Creek. Middle school is at the Innsworth Invitational. And also going on this afternoon, MTCS JV and varsity girls and boys are playing Nashville Christian. The elementary cheer is at the top of the rock, also middle school. Told you about the middle school swimming. That is on Tuesday. Middle school swimming will be at Oakland Middle. And also varsity girls are playing in the FRA Battle on the Hill on next Friday. Kind of a weird week this next week, especially with high school and exams. The varsity boys will traveling to Marshall County. And then next Saturday, girls versus FCA and varsity boys playing as well next Saturday afternoon at 2 and 3:30. So that's a little look ahead. That actually takes us up to Christmas, and then after Christmas, we'll talk about that a little bit more next week, about what is coming up for the girls and boys basketball teams. That is a recap of your scoreboard and schedule here on Cougar Corner, powered by TOA. And that's going to wrap up our coverage today. Would like to mention we've got Lady Raider basketball coming up this afternoon. The Lady Raiders are taking on Kansas State at the Bill Schneider Women's Basketball Classic. It'll be a 4:30 airtime here on WGNS with Joe Fisher behind the microphone. And next men's game will be on Monday versus Cal Baptist. That's a home game for the men, and the women on Tuesday are at Cal Baptist. Next week, with the Raiders or Lady Raiders playing on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, that only leaves Wednesday and Friday. And no games on Wednesday, few choices on Friday the 20th. So no high school basketball for you next week. In fact, the only high school thing we have before the end of the year is next Saturday morning's Coaches Show. Boys Week next week, as we talk about the holiday period, what's coming up on winter break. Before Christmas, after Christmas, kind of recap the first part of the year, and that will wrap up our 2024 coverage. We'll take a couple of weeks off there during the winter break and be back for the first show back on the air January 11th So it's the Saturday after Christmas and the Saturday after New Year's that we will be off. But calendar was really weird this year. Everything pushed a little later. But anyway, and then we're gearing up for big Tuesday, Friday matchups right on through. And high school basketball, our first game will be on January 7th. Okay, friends, that is going to do it here for Cougar Corner and the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. Our thanks to Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro for the breakfast and the coffee and biscuits and everything we had this morning for all of the coaches. Want to thank our friends at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air and, of course, Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance for bringing you the 2 coaches shows and all of the sponsors that you hear. It's very important. If you can support them, please do, because it's those sponsors that have allowed us since 1993 to continue the coaches' conversation each Saturday morning. My thanks to Danny Brewer and John Dinkins and our producer, Dalton Barrett. Many thanks to that crew. And we will be back next Saturday morning for another edition of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner. Have a great Saturday.